Chapter 7 Latitudes and Longitudes. In this chapter, we are going to study about the introduction and characteristics of latitudes and longitudes. We all know that the shape of the earth is spherical and it is represented by a globe. And because the earth is spherical, it does not have any edge, corner, sides, top or bottom. So it is very difficult to locate a place on the earth. In order to solve this problem, a network of imaginary lines and points are used. This network is called the Earth's grid. As you can see in the picture, some lines are running from north to south and some lines are running from west to east. So it is forming a network of lines, and this network is called the Earth's grid. The Earth runs around an imaginary line that passes through its center. This line is called the axis of the Earth. Now we need to know what is a latitude and what is a longitude. Latitude and longitude are a system of lines used to describe the location of any place on the earth. Lines of latitude run in an east-west direction across the earth. Lines of longitude run in a north-south direction. Although these are imaginary lines, they appear on maps and globes as if they actually existed. The tilted line which passes through the center of the earth is known as the Earth's axis. It is on this axis that the earth rotates. We know that there are two kinds of movements of the earth. One is rotation and the other is revolution. The rotation of the earth on its axis causes day and night, and the revolution or the movement of the earth around the sun in its orbit causes seasons. The characteristics of the earth's axis are: it is tilted at an angle of 23.5 degrees. The northern end is known as the North Pole and the southern end is known as the South Pole. The earth spins or rotates on its axis from west to east. It completes one rotation in a day. In this picture, you can see that the lines of latitudes are running around the earth in an east-west direction. These are imaginary horizontal lines running around the earth. The latitude of a place determines the north or south position of a place. The main features of lines of latitude are: the lines are equidistant from each other. As you can see here, they are equidistant. The word equidistant means that they are at an equal distance from each other. The equator is the longest line of latitude that passes through the center of the earth. The longest line of latitude is the equator. It passes through the center of the earth, that is why it runs through a longer area. Latitudes are measured from equator in angles. That is why you can see in the picture it is written 0 degrees for equator. Above the equator, the line is depicted by 15 degree north and the line below the equator is depicted by 15 degrees south. Similarly, as you keep on going above the line of equator, you can see the lines which are depicted by 15 degree north, 30 degree north, 45 degree north, 60 degree north, 75 degree north, and so on. In the same way, when you come below the equator, that is the direction of south, you can see that these lines are depicted by 15 degrees south, 30 degrees south, 45 degrees south, and so on. All these lines run parallel to each other. That is why they are also called parallels of latitude. Now, what do you mean by parallel to each other? When you say that the lines are parallel to each other, it means that two lines which are running side by side and they are not meeting anywhere, like the lines of the railway track, like the banks of a river. They keep on moving side by side, never to meet. So these are the features of latitudes. Number 1, they are equidistant from each other. Number 2, the equator is the longest line of latitude. Number 3, latitudes are measured from the equator in angles. Number 4, they run parallel to each other. You would also like to know that there are 181 lines of latitude, 90 to the north and 90 to the south of equator and the equator itself. So 90 plus 90 plus 1. This is equal to 181. So total there are 181 lines of latitude.